first. And the warning signs for them is they get delight.
Well, what is Dupers' delight? Well, an American talking about America 12 years after America ended gets Dupers' delight out of knowing that you don't know the fact that the United States ended in Cascadia, right? They'll say Cascadia isn't a real country. That was just a biological bioregional movement, right? So that's how they deflect with their national narcissism. They'll deny that the new country even exists, right? And today, Americans are two nations behind the historical timeline. They're in denial, the first stage of grief, right? They're having cognitive dissonance. So, a deep state asset or a lawyer is going to have Duper's delight when they tell you the entire prison system was anything but cruelty under the Eighth Amendment. They'll say, no, you can put people in a jail cell. That's due process. So that's how a lawyer gets their Duper's delight. That gives them a job saying it's due process, even though it's cruelty under the Eighth to put people in a jail cell for any reason. So all your lawyers, all your judges are high off of the fact that their job is unconstitutional cruelty. That's why they have a job, actually. So that's why cops have a job, because it violates the Eighth Amendment, what they're doing, right? That's why they privatize prison, right? All these private prison systems have Duper's delight knowing that you don't know that it's cruelty under the Eighth Amendment, right? Everyone on TikTok who says it's a private platform, when you tell them that the host of every TikTok live is violating your First Amendment and freedom of speech. Well, it's a private platform, right? They get Duper's delight off of fooling you because it violates the First Amendment when they mute you and boot you from the live. Actually, they say, well, that only applies to the government. See, they're deflecting when free speech was actually an American value. So the moderator narcissist, the host of every TikTok live, and the developers of TikTok themselves, they're going to say it's okay to violate your free speech, even though it's not. Okay? They get their Duper's delight off of the lie, off of fooling you that it's okay when it's not. So women in the government get their Duper's delight when they get rid of the father for a guilt-free sex life as a sexual narcissist and a wealth narcissist, right? Since they can fool you, they get a high off of money as well. Look, that legalized extortion money. They get Duper's delight off of fooling you that child destruction is child support, right? And that's just playing God with words. That's word narcissism. They're duping you with words, calling child support what it is, right? It's actually child destruction. But they get a high off of duping you with words, calling it child support, because, hey, the government gets a piece of the pie. The money narcissist gets a piece of the pie. The weakest link in your family who cares more about money than proper parenting. Right, in your relationship, when you're being cuckolded by your wife who's cheating on you as a naive blue pillar provider male, right? Well, you don't know that she wants to have that provider male as a front for society to look good for everybody while she cheats on that guy behind his back as a covert sexual narcissist. Okay? So she gets a high off of the deception of cheating on her guy every night. And she has Duper's delight when her real guy doesn't know she's cheating, right? She loves to cheat on that loyal, goody two shoes guy because she loves deceiving a good guy. So your woman gets Duper's delight when she says that she loves you and she really doesn't, right? No women authentically love men according to science and the hair test. You can prove it with your girl. Just ask her, darling, will you shave your head to prove your love to me? Right? She won't do it. She needs her hair to impress other men and to be normal for society, what she really cares about, right? So all the women are giving the men Duper's delight. Here, I love you. And then she divorces you and takes half of everything, right? And then she bones your best friend, right? I love you. Right. So the fifth wave feminist is all about exploiting men, right? Denying men fatherhood, denying men dignity, and skewering men, right? Showing men how powerless they really are, right? You will never get to know your children, right? That's your parental narcissist, right? So, the entire military industrial complex is getting its Duper's delight, calling war peace and peace war. And then it gets to sell its product and invade any country it wants to under the guise of fighting terrorism or finding Osama bin Laden. Right? So people are always lying to you. Saying that swear words are bad in the first place is Duper's delight, right? They get a high off of saying that they're holier than thou since they don't swear, right? They're an upper class, and that makes all the people who swear a lower class that they can now subjugate as a Machiavellian. And they're getting Duper's delight saying swear words are bad on the news when they're really not, right? People who swear are more honest, right? So now you know the ones who care so much about swear words. Well, you could spot dishonest people right away. They're trying to fool you, saying that swear words are bad when they're really not. So it's easy to spot a narcissist by their condescending vocal fry. They will sound like they're a pretentious snob who's better than the other person, right? But you can see Duper's delight in body language. People will have a little smirk when they fool somebody. They'll be like, you know, that is an example of Duper's delight. Like,